All right, good morning, families. I am Miss Williams, and I'm going to be going over our curriculum night slides, just letting you know what your child will be learning this year and some other important information about the school. And then if you have any questions about what you watch, you can come to our Q&A time tomorrow night starting at 6:45. So, without further ado, just the agenda for what you will be learning about today. We'll do some team information about who's on the team 5C. We'll talk about learning outcomes and units for the year, what student expectations are, how Schoology will kind of run this year. I know fourth graders used Seesaw, and so Schoology is a little bit different. Then we'll talk about multiple opportunities to learn, what that means in our school. We'll go over our schedule and then look at what grading is like for fifth grade. Here are the administrators of our school: Tom Larson, the principal, Tyler Nelson, and Angie Shea, associate principals. Tyler Nelson is primarily the assistant principal for 5th and 6th grade, and Angie Shea is primarily the assistant principal for 7th and 8th grade, while they both do things for both. Here are some counselors, deans, and nurses. You might hear these names come up if we're ever talking about them in email. But here are their pictures and their names and titles here. This is our 5th grade 5C team. There are several 5th grade teams in the building. And so our team is 5C: Krista Martin, John Olinger, Michaela Williams, myself, and then Thomas Fields. We're the best team, but I'm not biased. Some learning outcomes this year for English language arts. We'll be working on these specific skills for both literature and informational texts: making inferences, point of view, text structure, author's purpose, cause and effect, compare and contrast, and main idea. These are ideas that will come up over and over and over again that we work on pretty frequently. And in writing, the bigger projects we'll be working on is informational, opinion writing, narrative writing, and research writing. Those are the bigger topics we do, but throughout the year, we also write a lot of summaries and reflections during many content areas, but especially during language arts time. For math, these are our learning outcomes. Currently, we are in our Unit 1, writing expressions, equations, and finding volume. We're also finding surface area, which will come back later. And then adding and subtracting fractions, place value in decimals, multiplying and dividing whole numbers in decimals, multiplying and dividing fractions. Then we go into our geometry unit. We do graphing. We do volume and surface area again, division and decimals. And then Unit 8, this is kind of the fun unit if we get to it at the end of the year. It's about solar design. If you want to know more about math curriculum, you can go to this website here. It has some useful resources for you guys and further information about what we'll be learning in each unit. Learning outcomes in major units for science. We'll be doing variables, engineering and designing, simple machines, force and motion, landforms, and environment, ecology, and human impact. Mr. Olinger and Mr. Fields will actually be the two science teachers this year, and Miss Martin and myself, Miss Williams, we will be the social studies teachers this year. So currently, our class is doing social studies, and in a couple of weeks they will be switching, and they will be doing science with Mr. Olinger and Mr. Fields. Learning outcomes in major units for social studies. First one is, how does our government work? We'll be learning about democracy, constitution, and the founding documents. How was our country founded? The American Revolution, Constitutional Convention, life in early and colonial America. And then we'll be doing map and geography skills, reading maps, identifying trends, and such. We've started with geography this year, and soon we'll be moving into how our country was founded. Specialist information for 5th and 6th grade. These are all of the specialist teachers' names. So if you are ever in need of reaching out to someone or you have a question, these are their names here, and you can find their information on the website, of course. But also, if you're not sure where to find them, you can always just email me. and I can connect you with whoever you need to be connected with. Academic specialists and English language teachers, here are their names here. Again, if you need to get in contact with them, please let me know. I can connect you. So here are the 5 student expectations that are school-wide that your child is expected to follow. 1, students will engage in words and actions that result in a safe physical and emotional environment. 2, students will promote a positive school culture and a sense of belonging for each student through their words and actions. 3, each student will be a steward of their school environment, creating a place they are proud to call their school. 4, students will be aware of and advocate for their social, emotional, and learning wants and needs. 5, students will adjust their behavior to match the learning activity and environment, and be open to feedback when they have difficulty. Schoology. Some of you may already be familiar with Schoology, others maybe you are not, but Schoology is the primary place for all resources that students will need for their courses. Sometimes we hand things out in paper, sometimes we post them on Schoology, different assignments, and this is where you will have assignments if your student is ever quarantined at home or if they're sick. This is where assignments will be posted. This is also the primary way that I will send out updates about certain things. I'll also typically send them through email, but also you can connect to your Schoology so that when there is an update from a teacher, you can update your Schoology so that it will send it to your email as well if you feel you won't check Schoology often enough. This is also where you can check your students' grades if you want to see how they are doing. All courses in Schoology will organize their main page using the following color system. So the most current unit will be in a red folder. That will be what we're doing right now or this week. Blue will be previous units if they want to go back and look at what they've already studied. And white folders will be resources they may need throughout the year. All assignments will include all resources and information about the assignment within it. So there will always be directions posted, and it will have any documents they need to download into Notability within the assignment. And if it's something that we did in person, they will indicate that on it. As you can see, it says Unit 1 Assessment, Paper Test. Our school is a school that has multiple opportunities to learn. What this means is if your student is not understanding something during the first grading period, and let's say they get an approaching standard on something that they need to be performing at standard. What multiple opportunities to learn means is that if they're not understanding something and we move on to a new unit, we're not just going to leave them stuck and behind. If they're not understanding something, we will still give them opportunities to practice, whether it's at the small group table or something like that. And next grading period, if they've mastered it by then their grade will be updated, that they are performing at standard now. If you have any other questions about that, please come to the Q&A on Tuesday night. This is the schedule for 5C, what we follow almost every day unless there's something special going on. Grading report card. This is just one of many ways that we report on student learning throughout the year. Report card reflects student learning, and teachers look at evidence of learning over time to determine where students are at in their learning at the time of report cards. So, report cards for students in grade 5. This is different once they get into 7th grade. I believe it's different in 6th grade as well, but in 5th grade, all grades received reflect student learning that occurred during the trimester on specific standards for the content area. So it will show you what the standard is that we graded on. For example, students can use and create maps to show geographical landforms or something like that. then we will give them a grade on it according to this table here. So if there's an NA, that means that they didn't have opportunities to learn this in this trimester. So if we didn't learn about landforms and mapping them, I would just put NA there, meaning don't worry about it, we didn't do it yet. An NE would mean no evidence, meaning that they had opportunities. Let's say they were at home during the unit and they had opportunities to learn it, but they did not participate in any of the activities. That would be NE, no evidence. The rest of the grading things are listed over here. If you want further questions about what these mean, come to our Q&A on Tuesday night. Cell phone expectations. If students choose to bring cell phones to school, they should leave them on silent and in backpacks during class time. This is the best way to make sure that they're not distracted during class. This is what will happen if a teacher sees that students have cell phones. First time, teacher will ask student to put the cell phone away. Second time, student will ask to turn in the phone until the end of the class period. For us, that would be the end of the day, or until lunch or something like that. Third time, student will turn in the phone for the remainder of the day, and staff will call parent or guardian to let them know. Academic support for 5th and 6th graders. We have what is called WIN time during class, which stands for What I Need. And this is a time that teachers can support students in the classroom, but it's also a time where academic specialists will come in and give some differentiated support to students that are needing it on certain learning targets. We will also pull groups occasionally during WIN time as well, so that we can give specific students more support in things that they need more help with, or just more time, more practice. If you have any questions, please come to our live WebEx at the following time as part of our virtual curriculum night on Tuesday, September 28th. I'm realizing that we didn't put the time on here, but the time is 6:45 tomorrow night, Tuesday, September 28th. So if you have any questions, please come at 6:45. This is the WebEx code 120-814-9895. Otherwise, I will be sending you the WebEx link in the email that you received of this video. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I know 13 minutes is a long time, so I appreciate you guys. Please come if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a wonderful, wonderful day.